morning.
Hi.
Brad, nice to meet you. Welcome to the factory. You haven't been through the board, eh?
A little bit. I had a look at it a bit earlier. Yeah.
Okay.
Lots of lines on it.
So it's basically all the trips we've done. It's the first one, the Sling 2, this red one. That was that yellow plane over there. That's the first kind of real Sling 2 design that we had. The silver one on the right next to it, the D6 Sling, that was the initial prototype, the first kind of design.
Yeah.
We test flew it, said, okay, we like it. This is the few changes we want to make. This wing is also from that actual aircraft plus that tail on the wall. So kind of nice memorabilia in the office. Some history, exactly. Our own little museum.
So that went up from South
Yes.
America.
Yeah, so this is the kind of leg that everyone spoke about. 22 hours non-stop. James and Mike. Both of them only in the plane, obviously. That flight was quite a crazy landmark for us, as obviously, because it's the first one, we're flying into Oshkosh to go and show the world. But the kind of lead up to it, because Oshkosh is such a massive thing, to just get everything done, get the plane ready for that flight. I think they finished like a kind of the minimum test flying they had to do, and said, okay, well, we have to go, otherwise we're going to miss the deadline.
Yeah.
So they went. The longest flight they ever did was their first leg from Joburg to Sao Tome. So I mean,
That
that's
is a long leg.
it's a long leg for the first flight over Botswana, Namibia at night, in full IF conditions. So that's quite a serious and intense flight to start with. They made it though. There's a kind of a photo just showing that part, that yellow sling being pulled there. That's at Oshkosh arriving. Then the second biggest one was the Sling 4. So they said, so just for background, obviously you probably know this, but as you fly westbound and you cross the international time zones or whatever, the datum line,
Datum line, yeah.
then you obviously lose a day because you're going that way.
That's right.
So as a marketing thing, obviously we need to get the day back as well. Mike's getting all that. He wanted to just make sure he gets as many days as he could. So they said, okay, we'll fly the other way around. So they flew eastbound, this kind of yellow orangey kind of color line. Flew the plane the other way around. They didn't go to Oshkosh that year. They skipped it. They went to LA and then through South America. And then the leg that everyone spoke about was Rio to Cape Town. The crazy part about this is it's a 27-hour leg. Technically, they don't have enough fuel for that flight as well.
Yeah.
But they took off, the winds looked like it favored them, so they set on this journey and they went. The biggest part of it also is this island here, Tristan da Cunha. That is the only kind of bail place you have. So if you get to that point and you see you're not going to make it, you have to bail there. There's no airport. There's also only a ship that comes past once, I think it's once every 9 months. 9 months. And it just came a month and a half before they actually flew past, it was there.
So they missed that.
Yeah, so we're going to wait at least 6 months on that island. They luckily made Cape Town, and they actually landed with 4 hours endurance left. So they could go for a further 4 hours.
Fuel? It obviously
Yes.
took a lot of extra fuel.
Lots of extra
and
fuel. Exactly.
Did they just wing it? Did they know that they were going to make it with the fuel?
So the fuel planning was good, but it wasn't enough. If there wasn't any wind, they wouldn't have made it. If there was a little bit of headwind, they wouldn't make it. The idea was that the tailwinds will be strong enough to help them make it.
Yeah.
And the winds were so strong that they ended and they could fly for a further 4 hours if they really wanted to. So it's actually amazing.
Absolutely.
After that, the first production built Sling 4 is this orange, the actual orange line, and down back. That was not around the world, but they classify it technically because of the distance you fly as a flight around the world. Further to that is this silver line. That's a Sling 2 project we did where the plane was certified, the Sling 2 two-seater, with Sonica. And then the blue leg, which is the freshest one, that is the 3 high wings now going to Oshkosh and back.
And this yellow line comes through from Hawaii almost.
Exactly. So Hawaii non-stop to LA.
Wow.
Absurd.
That's a long trip.
Yes.
Not one I'm
So that's the,
right now.
that's the longest leg they've done.
That's the longest leg.
27 hours.
27 hours. 27 and a half, sorry.
So just packed extra fuel on the back.
Yeah. So to put it in perspective, the leading edge completely basically was fuel.
Yeah.
Plus the center of the wing was fuel on both sides,
Yeah,
obviously. Rear fuselage tanks, plus big jerry cans on their laps. And the kind of idea was because they didn't know if they'll actually take off, they were completely overweight.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, the fuel alone weighed as much as the aircraft weighed empty.
Wow.
So it's
Amazing.
hectic. They took off with the idea, if we can't actually physically take off, we're going to chuck
Just throw fuel out.
fuel first or luggage first.
Yeah.
Water and food was kind of last resort, but chuck as many things as you can.
Awesome.
And it wasn't necessary. It took off, stayed in ground effect a while, but it took off and it went. They made it.
And how do they fill up jerrys into the carriers at the back?
Yeah, so all of them was just linked to the kind of rear ferry tanks.
Pump it through.
So you
Pump it
refuel it carefully.
Yes.
I was gonna say.
You don't treat a pug out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's head out and then
That's,
we'll
a good
go
enough,
through the
that's a
back.
good enough sell anyway, just that.
Yeah, just that exactly. Okay.
Thanks.
Cool. We can put the order in and get flying. So let's go up here. So we'll show you. We'll go into engineering and I'll show you quickly, and then I'll show you the runway. But essentially the runway is between this row of hangars and the one behind on the southern side. It's a tar runway, 1.1 kilometers long and 9 meters wide. So quite a tight runway.
I'll fly on
A bit like the one
6 meters wide.
Exactly. So you're used to it.
Yeah, no yawing allowed.
So just before we get in, this is quality control on the left. So anything we manufacture, we buy out. All of it first comes in here. Hello everyone.
Hello.
Busy at least. That's good. It's the only reason why we want to be ignored. So yeah, all of the parts we manufacture ourselves in-house plus buyout comes through here. They check the quality of it, make sure it gets a stamp on. Each inspector has their own kind of QC number plus stamp.
So if something
So,
goes wrong, you know. where
Exactly,
to
we
go.
can trace it back. The composite parts, because some of them are quite important, it's actually in the layup of the fiberglass and the carbon fiber. So it's quite a nice tracking system to make sure you get what you need.
So once it's been checked, it gets stamped.
It gets
Where
stamped.
does it go after
So
that?
after they get stamped, they then load it into the system through the stores, and it gets kind of just packaged in the warehouse
So
to
that's
kind of
stock.
have in stock. Exactly. Most of it arrives, goes into stores, and immediately goes out to wherever it's required. We've actually upped our production quite a lot, our capacity recently, because of the kind of high demand on TSI sales and everything. So we are producing right now. So last year we produced 13 to 14 aircraft a month on average.
Wow.
Up from like 10 aircraft a month, and before that was only like 6, 7, 8 aircraft a month. So we've really
So 100%, double, more than doubled.
exactly.
And hiring, quite a big part of that? Or?
Well, so just that was not even high wing.
Wow.
We've just started production on the high wing, and the high wing production is set to kind of take all of it up to 18 aircraft a month. So 13 for TSIs, of which the split is like 10 TSIs, 3 Sling 2s, and then up to 18 for the 5 is high wings only.
So your quality control, is it the same team all the time, or do you rotate? I mean, surely they must get tired as well with that amount of stuff to check. Because this is really important.
It is very important. No, so we try and not rotate too much. I'm
You wanna
sure,
keep the liability
yeah,
to the
there
same.
is new people that obviously come into the department, but we try and have a consistent team and not too big a turnaround in staff, just because of that accountability. And a lot of it is kind of detailed and on-the-job training and experience you get, so you get better with it as
So
you
they know
learn.
the parts.
Yeah,
they
exactly,
know.
exactly.
Because with a lot of the parts, you actually have to inspect the drawing and see
Yeah.
is it bent the correct way
Yeah.
or the
Like,
So
whole
you
that's
need
what
to
I'm
know what you're doing.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's why I'm
You have to
asking,
be
because it's a
qualified,
big.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very.
And you cut on CNC?
Yeah, CNC. We do some laser cutting, and then a lot of it is routing.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
QC. So in here, I'll go in first and just show you. This is our engineering team, so research and development. Good morning.
Morning.
So it's quite a full and messy department. But yeah, so research and development. So obviously from designing, drawing, testing, drafting, everything, construction manuals for the kit builders, everything gets kind of designed from the ground up. Yeah. So yeah, the engineering office. Any questions on this
No,
part?
not at all.
It's quite
The
self-explanatory.
most
I guess.
important part.
The most,
Yeah.
most
So
important.
you've got an ongoing policy of research
Yes.
again and again and again.
Continuous development.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So TSI that's built right now, there are some differences
Yeah.
from a TSI that was built 3 years ago.
Yeah, so continual evolution.
Obviously, it's just,
Exactly.
yeah, evolving, growing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a
Let's.
busy looking office. Eh?
Yeah, it
Lots of
is.
people.
Yeah, and then the very spare time that built Nielson.
Yes.
That's all of it. Eh?
Good stuff.
You know what I like? This is a real nuts and bolts factory.
Yes.
Like I remember when we, with the piping and that, it was the same as this. Just, it's a working factory.
Yes,
There's
exactly.
it's nothing fancy. It's
No,
just
real
real
people.
people.
real.
Well, in fact,
Yeah.
everyone we've met that connected to the group so far has been like that.
Yes, yeah. That is quite a.
Is that
It's
your,
good to
is that
hear.
your load testing?
Yes, so the TSI we've got over there at the back is going to be used. So we're busy with BRS for a parachute for the Sling.
Yeah.
So we're starting off with the TSI because that's the aircraft that's out and about being built at quite a rate of knots.
But you can do them on the high wing already.
Yes, well, not right now. So we are busy looking into kind of getting the design for that. We want to focus on the TSI first
Yeah.
because there's the demand is like right now on the TSI. We don't have the demand right now on the high wing, but the goal is to get there on the high wing as well. So we'll get the parachute system next week. The guys from BRS are actually coming through to South Africa to do an extraction test,
Yeah.
where they're going to shoot the rocket out of that TSI fuselage over there. So looking forward to some rockets exploding.
Ballistic gas, it's a ballistic.
Yeah, an
ballistic
actual
gas.
rocket shooting out. Yeah,
Because that takes a shoot up and an
exactly.
That landing.
The parachute.
ballistic
Exactly.
parachute, yeah. Safety
Yeah.
parachute.
So a parachute for the aircraft, not for the people inside the plane, for the whole unit.
That I want
SpaceX
you to
that
put
has-
in.
Yes, exactly.
Just to the parachute.
Yeah. Cool, so let's go in here. It's a bit noisy and slippery, so just walk carefully, please. So this is our kind of two sections, twofold. So composites development, where they continuously improve the composites on all the planes, but specifically the high wing is the focus now. We recently did a whole run on improving the TSI's canopy. Then we've got maintenance and box making at the back, welding to the right and into this office. So all of the welding we do in-house. So the welding for the engine mount, we do it ourselves. Anything you can think of, if there's welding, we do it. Cool, and then in here, it's a small little kind of corner of the factory, but we make all of our glass or perspex ourselves. Yes, so let's go
I
in
saw
there.
that on the
Yes.
internet, yeah. On a video.
Quite a special one. Hello! Are you guys well? Good stuff.
You're obviously hot.
Very hot in here.
San Bonani.
Okay, so this is where the magic happens. It's something that I'm certainly quite proud of.
I think it's
This is something that not a lot of people in the world do. We get, funny enough, we get European racing teams asking us, please can you make a windshield for us? Because it's such a kind of bespoke,
take a photo
special
of it.
thing and complex thing to do.
You can take photos.
Yeah, take photos, please. Essentially, though, it's a process of heating up and cooling down and putting a special formula that I can't talk too much about.
So can withstand like bird going.
No. So a bird will go through. A bird will go through. It's not exceptionally strong like that strong because that's quite an impact. But it is aviation grade stuff. So it's definitely on standard to what the.
It's tinted as well, by the way.
Yeah, so it's slightly tinted as well, just to, and you can actually feel it. If you open the canopy up, you can feel the sun, but as soon as you close it, it
makes a big
It's got UV protection.
and it's not that dark that when you fly at night, it enters you.
Yeah.
It really works well.
So yeah, all the glass, the Sling 2 canopy, the kind of sliding
You certainly
canopy,
make everything here.
all of it in here. Windshield, the windows, your main side windows, the rear windows, the landing light lens covers we make ourselves. So as much as we can.
That's amazing.
We try and
Yeah.
do as much as literally as we can now. It just gives us more control.
Yeah.
Because
That's the big one, the quality of it. We've tried outsourcing over the years, and there is a point where you kind of need specialists in stuff like exhausts and stuff. And there's a few things that we still outsource, but there is a line where the quality is good, but you catch a mistake too late. So then there's this whole kind of range of stock that's made, but that's wrong. That's quite a reality. Exactly.
Lights. I mean, some guys just don't have capacity.
Exactly. And the amount
got a whole
of
plane waiting for
parts
one-
we run through, I can't afford a delay like that.
One
Um,
can sit back.
So yeah, good stuff. Let's head out. Hello everyone! Woo!
Hello.
This is my favorite department.
Do you think he says that way?
I think so.
I'm Brad.
Listen, how are
Nice
you?
to meet you.
Hi, Billy.
This is your department.
Yeah. So we do everything in house.
And you do all the dashboards and that as well?
Yes, manually.
Really? Yeah.
All of
And
them.
glued on.
Everything.
And is this also leather or not?
Dying.
It's genuine leather. This is a UV protected leather.
Yeah. And so you actually cut it and then glue it onto the.
We cut it and we
Prefab
stitch
frame.
it and
Yeah.
we glue it on.
That's amazing.
So like
I wouldn't
this,
think you do that by hand.
We
Yeah.
do.
it's amazing.
So you use standard colours, so seats are like grey.
Yeah, charcoals and greys and
Grays and beige.
yeah, and beige, navy blue,
blue.
maroons.
Yes.
Kind of just the kind of the general
I like
what
the
the
idea of
average
beige.
guy wants.
I like the idea of beige.
Yeah, it's like that color. It's like a
Exactly. Yeah, and
And
aircraft. So that is quite a nice color.
Yes.
We
and
call
this
it
has become
cognac.
Cognac, yeah.
Cognac. It's
And it's becoming popular.
yeah, it is a stunning color, man.
But you have to colour coordinate the outside to match in with it.
Well, yes and no. Funny
blue-
enough, so a
blue
lot
and
of
white
people just go extreme opposites as well.
Yeah.
Because it
Contrast,
works.
but matching, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah.
So
In the same
black and
spec-
white are contrasting, but they're good together.
Yeah.
So people kind of go for that as well.
Yeah. So also, if you have a special leather in Australia or someone you know in the leather industry, sometimes we get a kind of, hey, I don't want to use your leather. I'll send you special leather.
Yeah.
We've done that a few times now, and it's
Yeah.
quite an interesting thing. You get beautiful stuff coming out.
You shouldn't change people too much because you guys are used to working with this.
Exactly.
These
Yeah. So that's why we don't tend to market it.
No.
Yeah.
Specifically for that reason, because we've got our kind of production set up, and the standards is what we want to try and get.
Absolutely.
We don't mind doing customs. You pay a little bit extra, but that's also fine because you're going to get more value from it. So it is also
Most
okay.
people know that if they want something custom,
Yeah,
they're going to have
it's-
to pay.
Yeah, I don't have to say it.
Oh no, absolutely. That's true.
I tend to kind of also prefer either all black, all charcoal. If you like a two-tone, then do two-tone. But it's full-on personal preference thing. So there's some stitching they're doing, yeah. So on the TSI, you get 4 panels that's just a rectangular shape, and then above it
And
you
you
get
do
a
all
diamond
them
shape.
in diamond.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
And as you can see, it's
Yeah, all by hand.
all by it is time consuming. So
Bloody
there's an
amazing,
art
eh?
to this. You can't go line. Because
do it.
you have to do it line, skip line, so that the blocks are almost like the same. Otherwise, you're gonna have a small block because you went, and then the material
It pulls.
finishes. And
Yeah.
Yes,
It's a natural pulley.
yes.
Makes sense.
Good stuff. Okay. Leeglet, thank you.
Lovely to meet you.
Cool. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Just from some perspective again, this whole side of the airfield is basically all sling hangers.
Yeah.
We don't own all of them, but we operate out of most of them.
Yeah.
The white one at the end is the only one we don't operate out of. The plan is for us to build on this piece of land to the right. In that corner there by the cell phone tower, we want to build a 10-12,000 square meter factory.
What's the land?
So it's privately owned by a body corporate, the Terrafield Air Park. We're going to go up here.
So it's a licensed airstrip.
Group. So from they own everything, and we kind of own a few hangars, and we've already gotten the right to kind of build there if we wanted to. So everything is kind of in process to just get that going. Cool. So this is the
I
spray
like it.
shop.
Yeah.
So also again super custom stuff that we can do. You send me a design, a photo of a random plane.
Is this a paint shop? Okay.
Paint shop. Yeah, we can tweak it. We have to tweak it to not copy the design.
Yeah.
We don't want to copy it.
No.
But we can do most things. Yes.
And what sort of paint are you using? Spice Hecker, Durothan K?
I'm gonna lie.
Two pack, is it?
Yeah, normal 2K automotive quality paint. Yeah. We've recently pushed quality specifically in this department in paint and the finishing of it. The end of last year it was a big drive for us because again, getting the level just up on par.
The paint finish is good. I
Very
used to have a panel shop, and
Yeah.
I looked at it, they're good.
That's
Like,
good.
Errol's got a one in Australia that's got a Ferrari red finish. Beautifully done.
One that
no
we did.
fish eye, yeah.
Ah, that's good.
I think it's one that you guys did, yeah. No fish eyes, nothing. I've looked at a few.
That's fantastic.
Paint-
So, yeah,
the
so
paint
obviously
was
there
good.
is the one, like every now and then there is these little quality things that do come through.
Buff it out.
Exactly. But they actually do get it right. We recently got this nice new spray booth. Recently, more than a year old now. We used to only have we had a small one on that corner of the hangar, but spray booth B was our primary one. Then we upgraded to this fancy one. It's even got a swimming pool in the bottom. So on a Friday we move the whole building and the guys can swim underneath. The filtration system is amazing.
That's the dust collector.
Exactly. We've had also obviously because we need a lot of advice from the automotive industry on this, and the guys that are the professionals say to us that our dust proofing in specifically the booths are amazing. So quite proud of that one. But yeah, so fully custom, you can do what you want. Obviously again, it gets expensive with custom part, but it's worth it, well worth it.
You know what impresses me, and I've been in business a long time, is that you've got a definitive production line.
Yeah.
But you're still customizing, which is showing the care for the client.
Yes.
That's what I like. It's unusual. You don't see it in modern day business. It takes a little bit of extra care factor, and your
Exactly.
people here are all happy.
Yeah.
You can sense it. Yeah.
That's good. It's good that you're hearing that from the outside.
No, I can. I've been 40 years in business, and I can tell you, I sensed it within 5 minutes of coming in.
that's
Just
awesome.
everyone's eagerness and
Yeah.
just the attitude towards your product.
Yeah. It's
Your
again,
company.
like especially the attitude at working on the actual plane.
Amazing.
And it's a
amazing.
special product. The brand the
Yeah.
guys have built over the years is
You know, like
bloody
I
amazing.
might as well say this. Like I watch every YouTube to do with Sling and any other aircraft, and the quality of the product is there to be seen throughout. Everyone sees it. I mean, everyone who flies them and everyone who knows what they're talking about rave about the quality. But to come to the plant, the facility, and see it and meet the
Emotion,
people, then you know why it's a quality product.
Yeah.
Because like the lady in upholstery we just met,
Yeah.
she cares
she
about
really does.
everyone.
Yeah. It helps.
Yeah.
It puts the love in the plane.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a fact. Cool.
And they fly well.
And they do. That's a big plus.
I can attest to that.
That's a bonus.
They fly. They don't store. Where do you find an aircraft that doesn't store?
In Atlanta.
I have this saying, especially with the high wing, it's something that we've got the TSI and it's such an amazing plane. The performance is second to none.
Yeah.
Takeoff, climb, cruise, all of it, the fuel efficiency. The high wing came and our standard is so high, so we're taking a design that's difficult to kind of get on the same level, but we are pushing towards it. So I always say, I'm walking with the bread under the arm, I've got food, but I'm complaining I want more food. Because this plane is so nice, but we want it just so much better.
Perfecting, yeah. But
so-
you know, where do you find a plane this size that can do over 1,000 nautical miles with 4 people in it, full of fuel, full
That's
of
exactly
golf
that.
clubs and everything,
That's
and
exactly
still climbs 1,000 feet a minute
It's unheard of. It is.
and
it's
150 knot.
Yeah.
Vortex engine as well.
Jonathan said something the other day that was quite we make, as far as we know, and this is not fact checked, but we make the only 4-seat or 4-place aircraft with a Rotax 915 in the world.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's busy changing in the background and
No,
it's
no
already
one else.
maybe outdated.
No one else that I
Couldn't
know.
think of anyone else.
No,
Maybe
they-
we're missing someone obvious.
They use them in bush planes, but they're not 4-seaters.
Exactly, all 2-seaters. So it's quite a special thing.
Very amazing airplane, amazing motor, and it's Austrian.
Rotax is amazing.
Speaks for
Eh? Good stuff.
Yeah.
So we can go out and we're going to go to the stores and then kit packing from there. Yeah, so this is the main stores. We've got a electric stores.
Yeah.
That's all the electric components that's separate.
Yeah.
It's in there where we will dive. We'll show you in a bit. And then just across the apron we've
Are
got
those wheel struts there?
yeah, those are the main undercarriage, the undercarriage structure.
Okay.
Exactly. So these are all what we call caps. It's all routed by us in-house with a bit of a thicker material. They then send this to the smaller sub-assembly departments where they assemble the center carry-through spar and the main wing spar and make assemblies that so a lot of this is because it's such a structural thing. We don't want anyone building it.
Yeah.
We want to build it, and we'll send it out as is.
Yeah.
So this is those pieces. We recently got a lift installed, double decked. As you can see, we're running out of space at a quite a speed. No. So we'll try and extend as far as we can. Otherwise, build a new facility. Yeah. Specifically, that's the goal.
I can see why you're here now. So it's a very, very nice premises.
Yeah.
It's quiet.
No, we don't want to.
You can test planes here.
And there's that vibe. I mean, there's planes flying all over. It's nice for the
It's an
experience.
it's an
as
aerodrome.
well. Exactly. So we like for the sales team, we certainly don't want to be off-site or in a separate facility. We need to be on the airfield.
You could test drive.
Yeah.
Test flight.
Cool. So the stores, self-explanatory.
Yeah.
It's a beast of its own. To
Yeah.
manage this thing properly is
And stock control.
not an easy job.
I would imagine the inventory is huge on every plane.
It's massive.
Thousands.
How many rivets do we have in the TSI? 20?
TSI typically 21,586 rivets.
It's a lot of
That's
rivets.
like 5 times what I thought it would be.
That means different sizes.
Yes,
Oh,
different
yeah,
sizes.
types and lengths and
Yeah.
Yeah, different kinds.
But call it 22,000 pop rivets. It's a lot.
fortunately you don't have to.
Luckily, you don't have to do that. Exactly. Let's head over to kit packing, and then from there we'll head to sub-assembly. Hey, Roland. Yes, so container packing. If I'm not mistaken, one is going to the Netherlands and one is going to the USA. Excitingly, with the first high wing fuselages to each of those countries. Not Netherlands specific, but Europe and in America.
So the whole plane goes in there?
Yes, so
Obviously without
wings
the
off.
wings.
yeah, so they remove, so it's what we call a quick build. So it's the fuselage assembled, the wings built, but not joined, and the plane isn't finished. So they mount the wings on the sides of the container and the fuselage straight down the middle. The propellers will be either mounted if there's an engine, if it's a flying aircraft, otherwise it's just packed in the box. And then kits, so the boxes that you'll get it to build yourself, pack the rest of the container full. So we tend to either get 2 complete aircraft in a 40-foot container, or 6 or 7 complete kits. That's just a bunch of boxes in one 40-foot container. Obviously with COVID, shipping was a serious mess, and they're bloody expensive, but it looks like it's kind of normalizing now. So that's fantastic. So kit packing to the left, that is our hardware stores. It's very much the same kind of principle, so I'm not going to go in there into too much detail. It's like the stores, they just have hardware. So nuts, bolts, screws and rivets. Good morning!
38, I think.
Hello!
Well, you would. Well, your drawings would tell you how many.
Okay, so kit packing. This is the Meccano part, the Lego.
How many in your team? It's a big team.
Yeah, so the whole factory, the Tetherfield kind of group, this group, plus Elroad where the manufacturing happens, combined, if I'm not mistaken, is 330 odd people. Wow. And it's doubled since COVID, basically. So quite a...
It's been very good to us.
It's good for a lot of
Yes.
businesses.
Exactly. Then you've got back orders galore, and the management of that is just a mess.
Also like recreation,
Yes.
very big.
So let's...
Four-wheel drives, boats.
Excuse me, I just want
People realise they I think it
balance their life a bit. Yeah.
guys realise
to... So this is a section with the seat plate, center plates. And then there you can see each part is labeled. That's now the QC stamp I spoke about earlier. So each individual part has got its own label, barcode. So if you have a barcode scanner,
Feel
you
a
can-
weight of that.
yeah.
Feel it.
Feel that?
That's aircraft.
strange
So
to
that's
think
seat
the
parts.
fuselage, if you look at the aircraft itself, weighs 512 kilograms.
Yeah.
TSI.
Hard. That's a lot.
Yeah.
But if you look at the size of
Under
it compared to a
there.
motor car,
Can I just lift this up quickly? Okay, now, I don't want to damage that. If you come over this side, you can see a bunch of rivets underneath that part there.
Oh, yes, okay.
That's one of the bags. So this is just a fuselage. So the, in layman's terms, the body of the plane.
And you do option the filled rivets as well.
Yes, yeah. If it's quick built though.
Yeah.
If it's the box flat pack, then obviously I can't because it needs to be popped.
Yeah.
But a flying aircraft and or quick
Does it
build.
make a lot of difference?
Does it?
Make a lot of difference with performance?
Yeah, so not performance really, more kind of just protecting the plane, aesthetic, and then just corrosion protection is big. Because that moisture, especially at the coast, the moisture doesn't go into the rivet. So that's where the kind of corrosion happens. So we do everything we can. So if it's a quick build also, we iodine the parts. That's that bronze goldish finish. You'll see it on the parts further down the line. We do that as a standard. If we build it ourselves, quick build or flying, we do that. The center carry through, the structural components are anodized. Also again, corrosion protection.
So important.
Super important. Any questions on kit packing?
No, very impressive. So all comes in the box.
All comes in the
You
box.
open it and you go, well,
Got a
what do I let
manual.
myself in for?
Here's let's just open this manual for you quick. From this way. So this is the construction manual of the high wing. But just some kind of detail on the kind of detail, in-depth info that we get. So all of your part description for this specific piece, where what goes, rivets for each of it.
Very self-explanatory.
Yeah, let me go further. There's quite a
This
detail
would be
one.
given to somebody who's going to be building their own.
Yeah, exactly. So each box comes with its own manual. Whether it's kit or quick build, you get all of it. And then it'll say, for instance, quick build assembly note, all items must be installed assembled by the builder. So if that specific piece we won't do, if it's a quick build, you do it yourself. And all of that is regulatory reasons for you to comply with the FAA 51% build rule, or the global standard now known as 51%.
It's 51 all over the world.
Yeah, well, mostly. So in South Africa, which is nice, we can build production built planes, so we build it for you. It's still a non-certified plane. It's an experimental aircraft, but we can build it for you.
Very much more simple than most drawings would be.
Yeah.
So you number the part and blown up drawing where it goes in.
And then like with the fuel system as a good example.
Yeah.
It's extremely difficult to do it, but you need to have a good eye with that. So there we'll have extra special tips in and actual photos from our final assembly and our work we've done and experience over the years. So the drawing part with a photo with tips on what helps. And the great part, especially with those things, is the building community that we've got. So on Facebook, Sling Builders, it's a massive community that's grown organically over the years. Everyone talks and gives tips to one another.
It's like those, with the JD caravans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's all CNC and it's all planned exactly. It comes out of CAD drawings and
So the community is the big thing. It makes the job just so much easier.
Because somebody might have a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
a lot of guys who
Discuss it globally.
a lot of guys who've got time want to build their own planes so they can service.
Yeah, and they don't have the experience necessarily.
No.
Not at all necessarily a technical background. So it is a difficult thing then, but with the assistance you get, it's actually quite nice watching everything from the outside grow. Because it's not pushed and maintained by us, it's fully just organic.
Awesome.
Okay.
When I chose the high wing, I thought, would I change back to maybe a different model?
Yeah.
And I haven't wavered off the high wing at all. And I think the high wing's actually a very pretty plane.
Yeah.
Because a lot of high wings a lot of other makes they're not that elegant.
No.
This plane is very, very graceful.
Yeah.
The way she sits on, even the way she sits on the ground.
Yeah, she's very, very beautiful.
Like a
lot of aesthetic value to it.
a little angel with her upturned wings and.
Yeah. Okay, so it's quite interesting. Our test pilot just came back from initial test flight on a Sling 2.
A new one.
Or what we call a Sling LSA. This white one is going to the US.
Yeah.
Sling Pilot Academy, I'm sure you've heard of them.
Yeah, in California.
In California, exactly. They've got a standing order of 2 and soon to be 3 a month that we need to build and send to them.
Wow.
So just before we get into this part, sub-assembly is just at the back here. I want to just go in there and then we'll come to final assembly and show you the TSIs and then we'll go to the high wing for you. Cool, so sub-assembly. So sub-assembly is essentially just known for where the parts can become an assembly or a smaller assembly. We've got 2 of them. This is number 1. This is the one that we build all the what we call ready to fly or production built planes or LSAs.
Yeah.
So we build the airframes here, they go on to the rest of the process. And then sub-assembly 2 at the back, we walked past them earlier. where all the quick builds get built. So 2 different departments that specialize in different sections of the kind of various types of it. So let's go in here and see what is there. Good morning! Cool, so he's busy prepping the ribs. I actually want you to feel, just be careful, it's exceptionally heavy. Millie, just feel there. Just 2 hands, please.
I was expecting it to be heavy. It weighs nothing.
Nothing, it's crazy.
Very light and very strong.
Yeah. So super light, looks very flimsy, combined in the structure, assembled, exceptionally strong. Saving weight, this is why they cut the holes. They do bend it to kind of get the integrity back. But constantly something we look at of how can we save weight. I mean, in aircraft and aviation, you want to save weight. Always. It's always too heavy.
But without compromising the safety.
Exactly. The safety is number 1.
Once it's ribbed up in the frame with a wing around, you won't hardly flex.
So this is a Sling 2 wing. Quite applicable still because it is the same kind of basic design fundamentally. One wing around probably 80 to 100, maybe 80 kilos for one wing. I'm estimating now, I'm sucking, but it's around there.
And this is carbon fiber.
Fiberglass, or a mixture of both, depending on where on the plane. Specifically, the wingtips is just fiberglass. Great.
That's very light. I honestly thought you were going to say 200.
Well, look how thick it is here as well.
Yeah, it's exceptionally thick.
So it's quite a
Let's actually I want to just show you here as well. So this is the structural, obviously the wing spar, with those caps that we route ourselves and then we assemble. So we use solid rivets on some of the bits of it.
almost marine grade.
Yeah, it's like very, very strong. But specifically though, that is just obviously for just the safety and the strength. Solid rivets are much stronger. It takes more time to do.
Snap G's.
Hey?
Snap G's.
Exactly, yeah. It's not something we do believe in for the rest of the plane. It doesn't have to be that strong. It is a bit of overkill for us to do it, just for what we want to achieve with it. So the time it takes to do this is just kind of exponentially much longer. Pop rivets is kind of nice as well. Not as strong, but this is more than enough also.
How many you have per square meter?
Exactly. 22,000 on the TSI. It's
Well,
quite good.
So and the main fuel tanks are about here.
Yeah, in this section.
So your fuel
So
tanks.
this is
in
where
front.
on the leading edge.
So these are the flex. This is where the wings flex when you hit
So
bumps.
this is basically like your back vertebra, the main structure, the spine, exactly, the main structure in the wing, exactly.
Very, very strong. And these are
I'm really just impressed with the weight. I honestly thought
it's high tech materials.
incredible.
That is quite amazing.
Absolutely beautiful job.
Cool. Let's go to a fuselage over there and just show you that. Always nice to see before you go flying. Just to see what the backbone is like. So you can just peek in here. I'll go around here. Hey, bro.
Hello.
You well? We'll be quick. Cool. So the TSI, obviously this is the main structure for the canopy. Composite, all made by us. You'll see there's cables on the inside here. Also there, and then on the back going down here and mounting there. So that is obviously parachute cables. If you have a parachute, they'll connect to that, and it is bonded into the two layers of the canopy. So if you do deploy it, it rips out at the top. In principle, you should be closed off in the inside. It will rip out on the outside, and you'll hang and wait for safety on the ground.
There's the box that goes in there.
That's the parachute box. Exactly.
That adds quite a bit of weight.
Yes. Yeah. So it's about let's call it 20 kilograms worth of weight. Maybe a little bit more depending on which actual parachute you go with. It's also quite.
If it does go off, is there quite a lot of repair work that goes into
Yeah. So we've never had a live deployment in the air. It's not something we have to test, and it's not something that's ever been required. So we've done the ground extraction to see in principle what happens and so on. But in principle, you should most likely will replace the whole canopy. Your undercarriage will probably collapse. Your wings will get a bit of damage from the collapsing. It's difficult to say. Depends
on
where
where
you
you
land also. On what you land, exactly. Then also we've got the luggage extension. So you can put a golf clubs or rifles if you like hunting, fishing rods, spear gun, Mr. Spearfisher.
Anything else along here?
I don't think it's big enough for that fish to fit though.
No, you just strap that, you put it on the roof.
Cool, so final assembly. So
That's pretty, yeah, that's different.
yeah, quite nice.
Digital look.
Yes, it's one of the first ones actually that's a bit more of that look. So sub-assembly, we've just been there. Fuselage gets built, assembled. We send it off to the spray shop, gets its design bespoke or whatever you want.
Yeah.
So we spray it. After spray shop, it comes here, where they start doing the kind of the finishing work, installing the engine, propeller, fuel system, avionics. The team from our electrics departments come across. We'll show you now in a second.
So this is your final assembly.
Yeah, this is probably where, call it 80% of the work happens. A big portion of the work
Nice to see
happens.
it come together.
Yeah.
And I see you insist on everything being wrapped.
Yes.
And that which you can damage stuff easy and
especially in this department. It's because it's so many tools, so many
Yeah,
people moving around, planes in and out constantly.
very important.
It's
Look, it
super
looks
dangerous.
nice.
I think we do one flight with the owner's upholstery
Yeah.
to make sure everything is
It's airworthy.
airworthy. Yeah. So we call it the handover, the sales handover flight, where production hands it and delivers it to sales, and then we'll go.
That looks like a base coat, clear coat, metallic, eh?
Exactly that. Yeah. So we've done
like
matte
the red
paint
one.
jobs,
Blue's
but
old fashioned.
metallic. That's super nice.
And this is a pretty standard design of yours.
This is basic, yeah. This is essentially a special color and metallic only kind of paint scheme.
Yeah, it's actually less is more. Eh?
Yeah, it is.
This is very attractive. And you're still using the props that are made in New Zealand.
Yeah, Air Master, exactly. Also, again, with all the new developments and so on, with Rotax bringing a 916 out soon, we have looked at different options for propellers because Air Master don't have an option yet for the 916. So empty propellers from Germany, that's our kind of go-to guys. They build hydraulic kind of propellers, whereas Air Master is electric powered. So that is the kind of the next generation, stronger power
All composite,
engines
like
need
a
all
comp-
composite
yeah, yeah.
still. You do get options. We're going with the composite still. Those propellers are amazing though. So we'll most likely offer it as an option on the TSI. Not most likely, we will definitely. But we're doing a lot of development. So the parachutes, the engine, so 916 improving.
What sort of horsepower do you think it would 916?
So they're talking about 160 horsepower just for takeoff. And then it's the same as a 915. So 135 horsepower for continuous.
You really need it. These things take off so.
So on the TSI, no, you don't need it. You'll need it because if you fly out of a runway that's 200 meters long with massive trees up there. We'll just give him a second there. So you'll need the more power in that circumstance. In a TSI, actually no, you don't need it. The climbing performance of this plane with 4 people in full fuel, so our elevation above sea level is 5,250 feet.
Yeah.
The density altitude on an average summer's day is 8,000 feet. So we get performance of 1,000 to 1,500 feet a minute climbing out of here with a full aircraft.
Yeah.
Having
that's
that
equal to
engine,
8,000 feet at sea level.
yeah, exactly. So having that performance on this aircraft
That's amazing.
doesn't make sense to have a 916 that's even further on of the next level.
They're basically almost a helicopter.
Yeah, on the high wing though, because it's a heavier aircraft, the position of the wing, there I'd say that's where we want the
Do you think you'll have
916.
it before the end of the year?
Yeah, it looks like we should. We're waiting for kind of propellers to kind of match the engines. Engines I think we'll definitely have. Matching the propellers with those engines is the matching up thing.
Is that your standard white? 'Cause it's a very crisp,
super basic standard one.
very crisp, beautiful white. Because you get whites and you get whites. That's a beautiful
Yeah,
white.
this is white.
Yeah.
It's almost a little bit blue white.
Yeah.
Yeah. A
clean,
cool white.
Clean. You like that colour, Moss? Just like it is, it's nice.
Yeah, I'm not a red person,
No, but that's a nice
Well,
red.
it is
It's a burgundy almost, yeah.
Yeah.
but we're still fighting about the colour.
No, you know what I
Okay,
always
you'll fight for a while.
with the old reds they used to fade, but I think
Oh, yeah.
metallics they don't fade.
Yeah, we've got a good track record with these rays, and the metallics is good.
That's a beautiful red.
Cool. Let's go over to the high wings. Okay, so let's get in here and the behind the
I
scenes.
can see how much bigger. And now
It's
that
huge.
you come out of there, the tail wing is a lot bigger.
Yeah, the tailplane is
The
massive.
tailplane is huge.
That was kind of the obviously with this massive frontal area, there's so much drag in the front compared to a low wing TSI.
Yeah.
This was the first thing we said needs some improvement, needs to get much bigger.
It's so good that you actually acknowledge that and you
Yeah,
do it. You know,
doesn't
you
help you
commit
deny
to
it. No, but and it's that whole thing of complaining, we want better, we want better, we want better. It was nice and it probably would have worked.
Yeah.
It's not what we want though, it's not the TSI. The TSI is the reference though.
So this particular plane is quite famous.
Yeah, it is.
We've watched it on YouTube.
You followed it all
a
over.
lot, yeah.
Did you follow the trip as well as they physically flew day by day, or
You mean
the actual
when they
day.
went to Oshkosh?
Yeah.
No, I did some of it, but I couldn't find all of it.
Okay.
But I've been watching a Bambi flight down from
That one
from
you've been
Amsterdam.
watching.
Yeah, that trip looked amazing.
yeah?
She's a character.
It's good feedback though. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
We'll make sure we
No,
up the game on
it's
that.
It's very entertaining to watch, and she's very good
She's a character.
in front of
eh?
a camera. She's
Yeah,
good.
she's really good. Okay, so now high wings. So here you can see there's stuff happening here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's number 7. 2 of these are now going into those 2 containers that's standing ready. These are what we call quick builds. So ready for finishing and paint to happen. Engines to be mounted, propellers to be put on. Yeah, let's go to the close-up in detail and I'll show you a few interesting things. So structurally, just on the structure side, we've gone with so we don't have the struts outside of the aircraft, it's designed into it. So that's a solid carbon fiber structural piece that we've put in. So obviously safety, especially with the high wing, we didn't want any sagging. There is the natural sagging that will happen because of just the weight. But it's super strong, so we've really made sure that it's strong enough. There's a few kind of detail on the inside that you can have a look now. But what we call our top box or our center carry through, where everything mounts, is essentially a TSI wing. The profile of the wing is the same. We just changed the position where it mounts to the center carry through. So on the TSI it mounts on the inside of the fuselage. Yeah, we mount it on the outside. Small little technical details that change on it, but nothing major.
Very robust, eh?
Exactly. So you can kind of lean in here.
Very robust. See the
Also, so we've moved the luggage extension to the left.
Is that the standard size of the
That's standard, exactly. And then
luggage? So none of my Louis Vuitton things, eh?
She hasn't got any Louis
then the parachute box. So the big one was the space that the parachute takes up in the TSI. So on the high wing we said, okay, we're not going to put a box on the luggage compartment that now takes up so much space. We've built it behind the bulkhead. That little piece over there at the back, and the parachute is now mounted behind
you
that.
don't even see it.
You don't see it. You won't ever know it's got a
This is all
parachute.
still baggage here. As well.
All of it is baggage, exactly. So the seats, the rear seats actually kind of sit here with the backrest up there. So all of that basically and backwards is all
Lots of baggage.
luggage space.
You can't put
Well, you
Samsonites
don't
on.
know, but you don't. I mean, if we go away, you just pack lightly.
Exactly.
And you've got your light console on that. Okay.
Light console, whatever. It's it's customizable.
Yeah, and you've got downlights and
Downlights, air vents, all
vents,
of
the
it.
whole lot.
Have AC.
No, it's got a ventilation system. We're working on AC as an option. That is something.
You just go higher and it's cooler.
Yeah, the higher you go, the cooler it gets. And if you're feeling hot on the ground, you open the door. There's a big fan in front that helps you cool down.
You can even you blow dry you can get a nice little
Yeah.
70s style blow dry.
You can
See,
even
I'm outnumbered.
when that fan stops, you'll see the pilot also heat up quite a bit. He'll start sweating.
It sweats a bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of natural
Just
thing.
the heat, it's the heat.
It's heat, exactly. The fan really helps.
It's amazing how quickly that heat comes.
Okay, so I want to just see. This is a bit more open, more space in here. So
So is that the actual nose wheel mounting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where the nose
I like the way
mounts
it's done.
the, engine frame itself.
yeah, so engine mount, and also a completely different setup to
you
most certified aircraft. We don't have an oleo. it's not a car though. It doesn't want to be on the ground. So this is obviously.
Yeah. I see you got a bit of suspension spring.
Yeah, we don't recommend landing on the nose wheel.
No. It's not good
They
practice.
tend to break, but yeah, we've kind of refined the thing over the years. The rake angle we've improved and so on. So the nose is fine. It's good.
Very neat and tidy.
Thank you. So you can come around if you want to look on the inside. It's a bit more kind of more space and cleaner. If you want to look on
So
the
here's your
inside.
baggage accessible.
Luggage door, yeah.
So your baggage is from here backwards, and there's your access there. So it's got a lot of baggage space, and you never know when you might need a longer thing in there. So you can put golf bag, whatever, anything longer.
Okay.
Lovely, thank you.
Let's move to the last kind of the finishing of the high wing, just to see how it all now comes together on the high wing. Okay, so this is the first real production built plane that's coming off the line. It's a family that they're going through a lot in their kind of family part of it. So they are kind of super excited to just get their plane.
Are they South African?
South African, exactly, yeah.
Lovely.
They are a Sling owner. They are Sling owners right now, and with a background of knowing Mike, also they did their microlight licenses through Mike back in the day. The lady Adele, she actually her first ever flight in any plane with wings was with Mike in a microlight back in the 90s or the 80s.
And Mike's holds a lot of microlight records.
Yeah, he is Mr. Microlight in South Africa. So yeah, you can go around if you want to see the interior a bit as well. So they're doing a lot of finishing touches. They'll most likely do an engine run, hopefully by the end of this week. Test flying also maybe next week. Kind of doing a lot of work now, pushing to get done here.
So he's being pre-cabled for a parachute, but they're not fitting one.
No, they're discussing it still. It's a discussion. It's not currently the plan, but that might change.
Yeah. Beautiful aircraft.
It is.
An interesting thing on the high wing as well that I find curious. The TSI, to take a parachute, you have to build in a box. Obviously, it takes away from your luggage space. The high wing, we designed it so that the box doesn't impact your luggage space at all.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That was one of my biggest worries.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to give up luggage space.
Yeah.
But there you can have it both,
Exactly.
except for the bit of weight. But they're not that heavy.
20 kilos.
30.
20 kilos.
20, is it?
20 kilos. 20 kilos plus the cables is about 5, 6, 7 kilos.
That's worth it. It's worth
Because
it.
I was very keen for that.
Yeah. So in the high wing, it's really a non-event. It's something you do want. It's still a personal preference because you do end up losing weight, but you don't sacrifice your CFG in the envelope and so on it. It does have an effect, but it doesn't actually play that big a role.
No.
And it's been tested. So we've tested safety-wise. We've tested the high wing extremely. The flight across to the US was under extreme measures. That's the type of flying that you won't do. Most people won't ever do it.
Do that in a lot.
Weight-wise, it was so the maximum all-up weight is 1,050 kilograms. Empty weight, call it 570, 580 or whatever the final number is, depending on your kind of specification. All those flights, correct me if I'm wrong, they took off weighing 1.4 tons, 1.5 tons. So at least 3 to 4, 500 kilos overweight.
Wow.
And it performed.
I'm amazed
That
that
is
it
in-
still
you-
took off and performed.
Yeah.
And you know what impressed me the most about the trip to Oshkosh is, and this is where this is sheer guts.
Yeah.
You fly one on your own. Okay, it's eerie being on your own,
Yeah.
but you only got one chance of something going wrong.
Yeah.
Here they had 3 chances of something going wrong, and they said, we're fine with it, nothing will go wrong. And it proved it times 3, and that
That changes.
mathematically
the
it changes the whole ball game.
game. Completely.
The risk factor just
Yeah, well,
goes
you had 3 planes flying 22 hours non-stop, and they didn't have any problems, and they were overloaded.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
No, it's amazing. Yeah.
It's
That's
quite
an
a
aircraft.
story. It's a story that people will
That's
read about.
that's an aviation story that you don't often hear.
No. And it's crazy. So for us on the inside, we almost quite numb to it because it's normal.
But it's not.
It's not at all.
Not normal.
I read an article the other day by Dan Johnson, and he's an aviation kind of fundi in America. It does these massive articles and stats and so on sales and a bunch of various things. And he was referring to Sling as the guys that always introduce a plane by flying across the Atlantic, around the world, going on a long journey.
Putting the money where the mouth is.
Exactly. And I mean, that's the best way to say, here's the plane.
Well, we believe in it.
Check how safe it is. If the owners put themselves in it, then you know.
Yeah, and then you see Bambi flying comfortably over Kilimanjaro, 22,000 feet.
Like a non-event.
Yeah, with the little oxygen cannula.
Yeah.
You can do what you want.
Yeah, cool. Let's go to electrics. This is the last little section. Okay, so electrics. So we've recently changed our kind of finishing to now have powder coated finish plus laser etching that we do in-house. The machine is actually behind you there.
Okay.
Something small and interesting to look at. But yeah, so all of this we do in-house. Nothing is outsourced.
What made you go for the powder coating finish?
Minimalist.
Something different, but also the aesthetic value was a big thing for us. We used to have a carbon fiber vinyl looking finish, and it's nice. It's done its rounds though. Everyone knows that's what the panels look like in a
So
Sling.
more modernized.
Yeah, it's just increased the kind of modern part to it. We had to just look at it and make it a bit better. Laser etching it's neater as well. So the black.
So if you don't have a second screen, it gives you quite a big glove box.
Yeah, exactly.
Very
Definitely it's a valuable thing to have.
Things that James integrate.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want another screen, get a RAM mount, put your iPad there, or mount it to your knee.
And I see you have a few different options for toggle switches and stuff.
Yeah, different kind of setups.
Colored stuff.
Yeah, we're also now adding various different kind of switch plugs to kind of differentiate between important stuff and non-important.
Very nice.
Again, constant improvement. We need to constantly look at it. That's
Looks
why
nice.
we've really gone for that.
Very important.
It should be a bit more durable as well.
No, I actually like it.
Hey? Yeah, here's the old finish if you want to have a look.
Yeah, see, that's a carbon fiber look.
Yeah, and it's also good. It's not bad. It's been. I mean, that's what everyone knows. That's
So
what the
this was
Sling
the
panel
older-
is.
this was the
That's the
older
old finish. Yeah,
Sure. It's been loved and it's been used, and that's what Sling was known for.
I actually think it's nice.
it is nice. Yeah.
So with this scratch, which one would be more scratch resistant?
So actually, that one is more scratch resistant.
Yeah.
We found. Yeah.
It depends, I guess, though.
Yeah.
If you knock it hard enough, it's gonna scratch.
It's still going to scratch, but
Yeah.
it's just a bit more resistant.
It's definitely more resistant, I would imagine, though.
Yeah.
Practically. So then on this side is the looms of the plane. So the whole layout, the board of how we get the length right for each section. So just the raw material, pull it through according to the length you need it at. Make sure the connectors are nice. Everything though completely done in-house.
So is this just a type of cotton?
Yes, that's just a cotton to just kind of lock them in together. It's also a bit lighter than cable ties.
It's weight.
Weight as well, exactly.
It looks a bit like a nervous system.
Yes,
I like the fact you've got jigs. Keeps it simple.
very simple.
Again, it's quality and consistency
Yeah.
which strive for. So everything is the same.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nicely job. Very impressive.
Cool, and then a few test benches and just jigs to mount the panels.
So
and-
you install all the avionics here and before it goes in the plane.
yeah, install it all here, run it up, power it up, do the configuration, and then it's a matter of just poof, plug and
A
play.
lot easier.
Yeah, and this team has, like, they've improved the kind of quality and finishing and the snags that we used to have immensely. So it's such a nice setup now that the snags are so far and few in between. Actually, it's really amazing right now. Yeah,
Very impressive.
getting better at it.
Very, very impressive.
Okay, good stuff. Let's
And they've
go.
got air conditioning here.
And they've got air conditioning.
They have air conditioning.
Bloody special.
Do not